Hi guys, this is Janelle and welcome back to my channel. So for today, I'm going to show to you my game against a former world senior chess champion, the legendary Grandmaster Evgeny Sveshnikov. He was playing white here. We played in the Sacco Brato tournament in Bergamo, Italy in year 2017. And if I may say, I wasn't really expecting to do well in this game because when I played against Grandmaster Sveshnikov, I was just really enjoying my game. And actually, I even asked for a picture before we start the game. It's just a pity that I wasn't able to save the photo. But yeah, Grandmaster Sveshnikov is a renowned grandmaster. If you're familiar of the Sveshnikov Sicilian variation, that variation in the Sicilian is named after him. And he was also a very good theoretician. He published several books in the Sicilian, Alapin, Antidote Against the French Defense, and recently I think his most recent book was in the year 2016. I also read those works of him, so playing against him was a great honor. So I want to show to you this game to share my experience against a legendary chess icon. So first of all, I want to say thank you to all of you guys. We're reaching almost 1,200 subs. Please keep on watching my videos. So shoutout muna kay Arniel Ray Mercado sa mga new subscribers natin to. And Ace Jerome Cadupas, who's always watching my videos, and Michael Jeffrey Borden. Alright, so let's start with the game. So in the game, as I told you, Grandmaster Sveshnikov is white, so he played e4. Before this game, actually, I thoroughly researched about his openings, and almost always Grandmaster Sveshnikov always play e4. From what I know, Grandmaster Sveshnikov is a very dangerous attacking player, so he almost always plays e4, and he loves to have tactical positions. So here e4, and here I played g6. He played d4, bishop to g7, knight to c3. And here I played d6. This is a very flexible move. If I play something like a6 in the future, if I play something like a6, knight to b7, and something like b5, bishop to b7, that is what we call the Tiger Modern defense. But in the game, after d6, Grandmaster Sveshnikov played f4, and I eventually played knight to f6, which brings it back to the perk defense. So knight f6 is the perk defense. And this kind of position is what we call the Austrian attack. So knight f3, castling, bishop to d3. Knight to c6, I'm still in my book. Bishop to e3, he developed. So after bishop to e3, here I played bishop to g4. Although in the book, after the game, I checked the best move is to play knight to g4, attacking immediately the bishop to e3. And here, white should play bishop to g1, and I will just show a variation, e5, with the intention of course, in this line of the perk, almost always black should play e5. First to disturb the center, to challenge the center. e5 is a typical move in the perk. So yeah, fe5, de5, d5, and knight to d4. And this is a position that is very much okay for black. And after e5, there are three options: fe5, de5, or d5. So I already showed to you the move fe5. So if white plays d5 right away, black will play knight to d4. Remember, I put my bishop here in c6 to eventually jump to this square, knight to d4, because I want, in chess, a basic principle is always to challenge the center. So knight to d4. Alright, so that's the typical idea in the perk defense. Alright, so let's move on. By the way, let me show to you if for example, after knight to c6, statistically the move mostly played here is e5. So after e5, de5, and say after fe5, based on my book, the best move is to play knight to h5, which is interesting. After knight to h5, the idea here is later on to play bishop to g4, weakening the protection here on the d4 square, and later to play f6, and if allowed, something like fe5, and the rook will be very active. Alright, so let's move on in the game. After knight to c6, Grandmaster Sveshnikov played bishop e3 again. And here I chose, instead of knight to g4, I chose bishop to g4. After bishop to g4, Grandmaster Sveshnikov played castling, although a better option should be to play h3 right away. Although I would still play bishop f3, queen f3, and still e5 to create a knight jump on the d4 square. Alright, so after that, bishop to g4, Grandmaster Sveshnikov castled e5 with the idea to still put my knight into this square. Okay. Usually that is the crucial square in the perk whenever you have this kind of setup, the bishop on g4 and yeah, knight on d4. Alright, so after e5, he took it with fe5, de5, d5, and still knight to d4. And here, Grandmaster Sveshnikov played queen to d2. He isn't afraid to, after queen to d2, he isn't afraid to move his home pawns, which is the g2 pawn. So after knight takes f3, g takes f3, the king is a little bit exposed, but it doesn't matter because, as I've said in my very first video, a weakness is only a weakness if it can be exploited. As of the moment, White's king has no worries at all because I don't have any immediate pressure on the king side. So after gf3, I just played bishop to h3, trying to attack this rook. But okay, it can be easily defended. He played rook to f2, played knight to h5. Maybe later on I have an idea to play knight f4, queen f6, knight f4, something like this. So after that, James Sveshnikov played bishop to f1, immediately trying to exchange this bishop. But I moved back my bishop with bishop to d7. But another move could be queen to d7, retaining this bishop here, and at the same time developing and making my rooks, connecting my rooks. So after that, after bishop f1, I chose bishop to d7, rook to d1. And here I made a dubious move, and that is f5. f5 is a dubious move because white has a very good move here. White should have played d6 because, for example, I couldn't take this pawn because after cd6, queen takes d6, the threat is very terrible on d7, and some bishop c4 check. If for example I defended with rook f7, bishop c4, and it's immediately lost. So after d6, I'm likely forced to play c6, but this pawn on the d6 square is very annoying. Okay, so after f5, it's good on my part that Grandmaster Sveshnikov played ef5, and I think in the game he played it immediately, and that is one mistake that he made actually. So after ef5, I played bishop f5, d6. After d6, I took it, queen d6, queen d6, c takes d6. These are all very normal position, and here I repositioned my quite misplaced knight on h5. I put it to my intended square to f4, knight to f4. And after knight to f4, typical move, rook to fd2, creating a control in this d file. And here, I think I should have played rook to c8 immediately, but I played king to h8, which is too prophylactic. White played knight to e4. After knight to e4, I played rook fc8 with the idea to develop this rook in the c file, but also I have a hidden plan. So after rook to fc8, GM Sveshnikov played c3, which I think is too cooperative with my plan. And after that, I played bishop to f8. And he got a little problem with his rook on d6 because he couldn't move it back or push it forward. So here he blundered by playing rook to f6. After rook to f6, the rook here on f6 is already trapped. A better option should be white could have played bishop f4, ef4, and bishop f4 because I couldn't take it with bishop to d6 because after knight d6, ef4, and I think this would be very, very equal. Could be a draw. I might just choose after bishop takes f4, I will take it, and then I will try to think of ways how to maneuver this, because for example, white can just play rook to d4, although here it's still equal. So here, after c3, bishop to f8, Grandmaster Sveshnikov played rook to f6. After rook to f6, king to g7. My threat is very obvious. I will take this knight. I will take this knight, and then later on take this rook. So he's got a very big problem with this rook. It's trapped, so he simply just took the bishop, but here it's already winning for me. After gf5, he checked, tried to create a little counterplay, king to g6, and he played knight to d6. And here, another winning move for black could be bishop takes d6, rook takes d6, and king h5. But practically, I was playing against a higher rated player, so I wanted to simplify the position, because in chess, we have this very simple advice for beginners and for mostly for all players, that if you're ahead in material, you need to simplify. So I played rook to d8, forcing the exchanges of the rooks, and GM Sveshnikov played knight to f7. I simply took the rook, rook takes d7, knight takes e5 check, forking my rook, tactics, king to g7, knight takes d7, and bishop to d6. And here, GM Sveshnikov played check, bishop d4, king f7, bishop c4 check again. I'm just trying to make this knight very uncomfortable, and if allowed, this knight could be also trapped. So he moved with knight to f6. If, for example, knight to e5, that doesn't change the position at all, because I will just play rook to c8, intending bishop e5 and taking this bishop. And for example, the bishop moves, I'll just play bishop to c5 and another simplification. So it would be very easy win. So after this, king to e7, Jim Sveshnikov played knight to f6. I played rook to c8. And any bishop move, I will play bishop to c5. So Jim Sveshnikov played knight d5 check. I just took it, knight d5, bishop d5, and bishop c5. Simplification. I think that's the easiest way to win a winning position. It's always to simplify pieces, exchange pieces, but not pawns. Alright, so bishop c5, bishop takes c5, rook takes c5, c4, and here I just simply centralize my king by playing king to d6, and later on king e5, with the idea to centralize my king e5, and if allowed, king to d4. So here, after king d6, James Sveshnikov played king to f2. I played b5, attacking this pawn, and he played b3. And here, bc4 is not necessary, but I was just trying to open more files. Bishop takes c4, and here, f4. The king couldn't get out, so it would be a very, very easy win for black, because I have so many open files here, the G file, E file, and D file. So after that, bishop to D3, I just played H6, H4, rook D5, and Grandmaster Sveshnikov resigned. Because I have a very simple idea to penetrate this second rank. If the bishop moves, for example, elementary threat, rook D2 check, or if, for example, he plays something like king to e2, rook h5 could still be winning, or even king to e5 still winning to play king to d4. So, yep, that's it. A very nice game against Grandmaster Sveshnikov. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play against a legendary Grandmaster. In the future, I still want to meet and, if possible, to play against him, if opportunity permits. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you're all safe. See you again tomorrow.